Hey, make some room. Let me come in. Make some room. Forward. Yeah. Say, got long legs. Hey, come. Let me get some light. Let me get.
Make some room, man. All right. Let's let the ladies speak.
Yo.
Let's let the ladies speak. You're not jumping.
Yeah. When we're talking about cohesion, let's not have this conversation without giving the historical context. Yeah. It's not like you're just a random guy that's come to the park.
Content over everything.
Said about the Niqabi. You've been on an onslaught on Islam and Muslims for over a year, linking up with anyone who is Islamophobic. It didn't matter who it was. Doesn't matter if your own morals apply to them. No matter if you connect to them. When they don't like Muslims, you attach with them. Let's put it under the context that in this park there was people that you were affiliated with that definitely had a big influence on the praying stopping over there. Yeah. So it's like you're going out of your way, your own personal problems that you have with Muslims, you're going out of your way to try and legally impose on Muslims. So when you're talking about the Niqab, when you leave Speaker's Corner on Sunday and you go sit in that room for 5 days straight, the woman in the Niqab,
I love it.
The woman in the Niqab does not
I
affect
love being
you.
alone. What's the
I
problem?
know, but the woman in the Niqab is
I
not
love it.
affecting your
I
life.
love it. I
The
love
woman
it.
in the Niqab is not affecting your
All
life.
right,
It's not
so
affecting
let
my
me
life.
ask you a
If she
question.
was affecting my life, I'll be the first one.
Let me ask you a question.
Anytime anyone comes to me with any religious belief that impose on my freedom, I would say they're gonna force anything on me. I'm fully against it, bro.
All right, so can I ask you a
But
question?
this is something that doesn't affect any of us, bro.
I
Like
can
on
ask
every
you a
day of the
question.
week, how is it affecting man?
Oh, let me ask you a
I don't
question.
get it.
How's it affecting
Let
your
me ask you a
life?
question. Am I allowed to have my opinion?
Get a response.
Hold on, am I allowed to have my opinion?
No, get your response.
Yeah, so if I say that I feel the niqab or the face covering of anybody, including someone walking around now, is a problem for social cohesion because people cannot communicate properly because I don't know whether she's sad, upset, angry.
Why do you need to
That is not about safety. This is nothing to do with me being an Islamophobe. This is to do with the fact that I believe that there's a problem in the UK where people are not talking. And one of the barriers nowadays is the niqab or the burqa. Yeah? And so people need to talk. And if you saw, I mean, she said to me earlier, the reason why she wears this is because of men. Like she doesn't want men to look at her. So rephrase it.
Let the sister say what she's gonna say. Yeah. One thing I'm gonna just put in though is you said that we don't know whether she's angry or sad. I know from the sister's voice. Yeah, voice recognition because I got ears.
Tonality.
Yeah, I know when she's happy. I know when she's sad. During this whole conversation, I've understood her emotions. I've had no problems understanding how she's feeling right now. So I just want to point that out. But let the lady speak.
First of all, you claim that you can't communicate with me because you can't see my face. Can you hear me? My voice
You
is
can
very
speak up a little bit.
Okay, so in that sense, how would you communicate with somebody who's deaf, or someone's got Asperger's, or someone that's got any sort of other disability?
Well, these are things that are out of
You can
people's
still communicate with
people's
them. Okay.
control.
No, but you're saying
Wearing a veil
can't
over your
communicate
face
with me.
is in your control.
Yeah, but you can hear my voice.
And I know for a lot of Muslims, it's not even obligatory. The hijab is.
That's a different conversation.
So it's not as if.
I got.
Let me make his point.
So it's
One
not.
minute, let the sister finish saying talking and
So you're talking about the fact that you feel that I can't what's it, cohesive?
So I'm saying it's affecting social cohesion.
All right, but it's not, because I do go out, I do work, I pay my taxes, I went to school in this country, I was born in my country. The difference is I haven't assimilated. What you're saying is, in order for me to be accepted in this society, basically, is either I'm forced to take off my veil so that I can assimilate. Now the problem with that is, once you go down that dangerous route, where will it stop? Because if people are forced to take off their veil, then we're going to move on to Rastas. They've got to cut their hair because they don't fit into the social norm. Okay, and then it will move to you.
No, that's a scare tactic.
You take off your hat. It's not a scare tactic.
It's a scare tactic.
It's a dangerous route to go down.
It's the same narrative.
It's the
same narrative.
It's
the same narrative.
What's the difference? Okay, what's the difference?
Let me point about social
What's the
cohesion.
difference?
Let me point about the social cohesion now, yeah? Are you understanding, yeah, that it is the same narrative about the niqab being a problem for social cohesion in this country that has made EDL the fathers of the DFLA on many occasions, yeah? And my brother here, his mum, is someone who's actually experienced it. This is one of the reasons why man speak out against this thing. Cause I know real people that have had to deal with the backlash of these narratives that are being pushed. You understand? And women have been attacked, yeah, because of this same narrative being pushed. That's why people have. That's why I want to know. That's why I want to know. Yeah, if the niqab is not having a detriment on anyone else's life, yeah, on anyone's life, then what for me it is hate speech, because you're adding fuel into a fire that does not need to be added.
All right. So obviously these guys are trying to scaremonger and trying to conflate an issue about, you know, people being beaten up and people being this, which is evil, to the fact that I believe that this particular garment is nothing to do with religion, yeah? It is to do with the fact that for social cohesion, if you cannot see another human being's face, it is problematic. And I'm going to say something, because I live in a Muslim area, because everyone thinks I don't live in I do. And I grew up with Muslims.
Why is it problematic?
Oh, hold on. So in the year 2000, because I've grown up in an area which is Muslim, I never saw anyone with a niqab. When it hit 2010, I started seeing 2 or 3. Then I started in 2015, you started seeing 3 or 4. Now, if I don't go out and see maybe 5 to 6, it's odd. So
Why
what
is
I'm
that
saying is
problem?
growing at such a Let me finish. So it's growing at such a rapid rate. If we now have a society where, let's say, a large proportion of the Muslim population is covering their faces, how can you build relationships with people outside your community?
Do you understand that white people were saying before we looked out the window and there's 1 turban, now there's 2 turbans, now there's 3 turbans? You understand? They were saying
I know
the same
the narrative sounds bad, but this is not about racism or Islamophobia.
This is about someone who comes to the park on an Islamophobic agenda.
No.
So this is why it's hard for us to take it as sincere.
When I say I think it's out of order to support the death penalty for someone like Sophia, yeah, for being transgender, is that me being Islamophobic?
That's got nothing to do with
No. Because when I'm saying that I disagree with the death penalty for someone like Sophia because she's transgender under Sharia, is that Islamophobic, or is that just me being a humanitarian?
What did want a death penalty for the transgender?
What did you say?
Who wants a who
under
said they want a
Sharia,
death penalty?
people that are
Who said
transgender.
that? No, listen. Who said that?
There are transgender. What I'm trying to say is that if you're going to call me a hate preacher, then you need to look at yourself, because you support death penalties for apostasy, adultery, transgenders, gays, blasphemy. See, so what? So they call me a hate preacher for condemning that, but you are upset because I said I want to see the vow ban. Listen. Can you not see the hypocrisy? No, it's very important. Listen.
Constantly attack.
Because you're calling me a hate preacher, this guy. I'm trying to show you. Do you support Sharia?
Because you constantly
Do you support Sharia? So you support the death of apostates, homosexuals, adulterers, blasphemy.
Who said that Sharia?
Well,
Who said that Sharia? Who said that?
Is it Sharia?
Who said that?
Who's proud of their religion? Who's proud of their religion? Or are these guys embarrassed? Are you embarrassed of your religion?
I don't have to answer.
See, they never have to answer.
That is Sharia. Sharia is equality. Sharia is a good economic system. Sharia is no interest.
They're saying Sharia is equality. She'll be dead under Sharia.
Who's a transgender?
She'll be dead under Sharia.
I don't know any transgenders. If there is any transgenders, bruv.
So before you call me a hate preacher, look at your own views.
You are a hate preacher.
Look at your own views.
What are my views?
Because you believe in Sharia, which is a barbaric system that calls for the death of people. So I'm not a hate preacher, you guys are.
No, listen.
Let's get back to
Raj, I'm gonna ask you one question. Yeah.
No, I'm talking to respect.
No, I'm gonna ask you one question.
I'm talking to respect on her.
Okay, one serious question. It's
Well,
based
I
on the same
decided to
topic.
answer. I don't need to answer if I don't want
You don't want to answer. Okay.
I said I don't have to.
I'm gonna still ask the question. If he wants to answer, he doesn't have to answer. Furthermore, it could be a rhetoric question. Furthermore, for that matter. Yeah. Okay. In the last 50 years, in the last 60 years of the British environment, yeah, the British society, our society's changed so much. Where back in the 50s, where women were seen more very obedient to their husbands, there'll be more stay-at-home type of women. They'll dress more modestly. Let's go back into the 20s and the 30s. Is the exact same system. Now our society's changed a lot due to different people, different cultures coming into this type of environment, right? Now, if your kid one day, if you used to have a kid, I don't know if you got kids, one day your 13-year-old son comes at home.
I got nephews and nieces.
Okay, cool. One day if you have kids, yeah? And your kids, one day your 13-year-old son says to you, you know, Daddy, I want to be a woman today, and starts dressing up as a woman, and starts to go through gender operation. Would you yourself, now answer this subjectively, would you be content and would you be happy your son transitioning into a woman?
As a moral man.
All right,
As a moral man.
All right, so let me explain this, yeah?
Answer the question.
I believe in traditional values. Yeah. So I do believe in the family being a husband and wife and kids and you being married in a traditional way. I don't support these issues in the sense I wouldn't want my child to be transgender, but I would support them.
Would you have a problem with it?
I would have a problem to a certain degree, but I would still support their right.
There you go. There you go.
No, it's not
There you go, man.
two-faced.
There you
It's
go.
not two-faced.
There you go.
Because I can have an issue with something, but still say, look, yeah, this ain't the ideal thing I would want for my child. But if they were hold on, no, this is a very nuanced question you're asking me. It's not black and white. You need to. No, it's not black and white. Because when you love your
agree with
children,
your son becoming a woman?
well, if that's what they want, if that's what happened,
And
I
you
would
said
agree
no.
with it. No, I said I
Would you
would
disown
not
your
be.
son? Would you disown
I
your
would
son?
not. No, I
Not for the
wouldn't.
sake,
No,
not for the sake
never.
of Sophia. Not for the
No,
sake
no,
of
no.
Sophia.
I would never.
Answer from your
Yeah, I would support them.
You would support them.
Yeah, I would have to.
And you'd be content.
If they told, no, I wouldn't be content. If they told me they want to kill themselves, and they're so sick and tired of the world that they want to transition to a female, I'd rather them be alive and happy than kill themselves.
Can I say something?
Would you be content?
But they've already content.
So on that, what you just said, yeah. So if you had a daughter now who wanted to become a Muslim and wear the veil, you wouldn't support her.
Yeah, that's a very
I would.
very good question.
No, you're not arguing. How can you ooh and ah when you not heard what I said? You turd?
Go on.
Let me just answer the question.
Answer the question.
Let me answer the question. Stop oohing and ahhing.
Guys,
like
hold
you're
up.
in a pantomime.
Raj, don't focus on them.
This is
Go on.
speaker's corner, not
Focus on the sister.
pantomime.
on the
Focus
same
on the sister.
circumstance. On the same circumstance.
If one of my relatives became
Your
Muslim
daughter.
and started
Daughter.
wearing with my daughter,
Became Muslim.
I would say you do what you want, but I'm not going to support you on that. And I would probably
Right.
try and
But
tell
you
her.
support- you
I
support
would
them
tell her-
transitioning.
I
Hold
would
up.
tell her
Now you
that
support
I
them
do not agree
transitioning.
with your face being covered. But would I pull it off? No.
But you
She can
support,
do
but
what.
you support the boy becoming a girl, the girl
Well, they're
becoming
two
a boy.
different subject matters.
No, they're the same.
How can it be? How can someone wearing a niqab be the same?
It's choice.
How can they?
Simon,
You are using a very simplistic argument.
No, because Simon is
You
wearing
are
a
equating transgenderism to a face valve. Can you not see
Yeah,
how
hold on.
ludicrous that
Yeah,
is?
but the former way outweighs the latter.
Wearing a
One
face
is
veil,
covering your face, one is
wearing a
covering
face
your
veil
private.
cannot be
Changing
equated
your
to
sex.
changing your
No,
sex.
but Simon is wearing a veil. He's wearing a veil. He is wearing a veil of
This guy,
makeup.
yeah? Because
Simon is wearing a veil
I'm
of
saying
makeup.
to you
You're
that
not right.
Listen,
I
Simon
know
is wearing a veil of makeup.
you're called Raspberry.
she's
The
wearing-
one
it's
thing
not-
you should
that's
call
it's a
Sophia is
mask.
at least call her by
That's
her
not
name.
his real face. Yeah, it's just a different. It's just a different sort of veil.
So
Yeah?
that's what you're doing.
That's just mad low. That's low, man. That's low, man. That's low.
I'm here for
Can't have an adult conversation.
Everyone makes
Inject
space.
yourself, man. Inject yourself, man.
This lady, does her choice to become a female, is it the same as wearing a face veil? This lady here.
Bro, this is my man, son.
My choice.
If you can't have an adult conversation, keep it moving, man. Kick out, man.
Sophia, come over here.
My choice makes better sense because I'm not changing.
Man, let her run away.
I'm covering.
I'm now touching me, man.
All right. So can you go over next to that room? Go next to that room.
Go over there, man.
Yo,
Big
what's
man
leaking?
like
Yo,
you.
leaky.
Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Megatron.
Yeah, the difference is I'm covering my face, not changing my body. So what I've done is completely innocent. Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
And
This is
it's my
two
choice.
separate topics.
But they're massive. Yeah.
They're
so
two
therefore,
separate topics.
So therefore, your daughter becoming
You are
a Muslim,
equating
covering
one
her
with the
face,
other, which
One
are
at a time, one at a
totally
time.
separate.
One
Your
at a time.
daughter becoming a Muslim and covering her face is something that goes with the natural state of life. Yeah, she's changed her religion. She's become religious. She's covering her face.
These are biological
It's
changes.
the same. Yeah, you just
Oh
change
my
your religion.
God,
But it's down to choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this the level of the? Is this the level of the debate?
Because
this is the level of the debate, I'm gonna walk off.
It's hypocrisy.
No. If this is the level of the debate, we need to walk off.
Because
You are equating a face veil with a sex change.
Yes. Because
Now,
what I'm saying is,
obviously, most people
yes,
will agree
freedom
with
of
this. Do you
expression.
agree with that, Naomi?
Right, Layla.
Would you agree with the face veil being the same?
I haven't known the full conversation, but what I would say is, I personally have no problem with somebody covering their face.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
that's
you. Thank you very much.
your decision, your choice.
And that's
sound. That's a sound. That's a sound. That's a sound.
That's me.
I don't have a problem.
But you'd kill her under Sharia.
Yeah,
I'll kill her under Sharia.
yeah.
Bring out your evidence, man.
Me personally,
Bring out evidence.
Don't back to that. 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 Don't back to
me
that.
personally,
No, don't fall into this trap.
I want
me personally, I believe
I
that
don't want to kill no one.
a person who wants to cover their face, it could be. I'm just raising
That's
different.
fine, Karen,
I'm
speak
just raising different
Yeah.
examples.
Yeah.
It could be because your husband's forced. It could be
Yeah.
because your husband's forced you to do it. It could be because you've chosen that you want to be like that. It could be because you or your husband maybe have fear about. Maybe your husband has fear that you're going to be abused by another man or whatever. So personally, I wouldn't want you to cover your face if it's your husband. If your husband is in fear that you're going to be,
Absolutely, that's
because I
fine.
believe that a woman, whether it's a Muslim or another woman,
can I say
like
something?
other, in the same way as
So go now. We can speak.
this is what happens. You get loads of interruptions. In the same way as I wouldn't want a Muslim. I don't agree that a woman wants to flirt her boobs and that taxi drivers want to abuse that woman and stuff. That's her choice. She can choose to dress like that, but she's got to be aware that she's got to be aware that basically that taxi driver has got the capability to do that because of his dirty mind. Of course. But I don't want that taxi driver to do that. But she's got to be aware. But
Okay, the thing is, with Raj has
rational.
I'm not getting into debates about.
with
Me personally, I'm not getting into debates
with
about
this
what
guy
Sophie
here,
or.
yeah, with this guy.
But
and this guy here,
she's
what they've done is
equating the
they
niqab with a sex
dehumanise.
change.
Yeah.
They
She's
dehumanise.
equating the
What are you
niqab.
saying as regards sex change and what you're wearing?
The problem with Raj is that he's dehumanised the woman behind
No,
the
I'm
veil.
not. I've not done that.
He's never
don't
asked.
put word- no,
yeah,
don't
he's
put
never
words into my
asked.
mouth.
What is your story? Why do you wear it? Are you forced?
Straight on
Do you
attack.
feel uncomfortable? Automatically, it's you wear it.
But
you're
the
not
thing is-
submissive,
but can
you're
I
not
just
this,
say-
yeah? So this is my issue. My
Yeah,
issue
but can I
is
just say-
he has so much compassion, okay, and love and support for his companion here who's had a sex change. Yet he has no compassion for a woman behind the veil. He's never asked.
How do you know?
Yeah,
about
because I
compassion?
hear you.
Hold on.
Because
I
it's
see
evident
you
in the
do.
way you
On
speak
your
and your
hangouts-
The thing is-
on your hangouts, yeah, you have no compassion.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
But can I
you
just
think that
say-
it should be forced? We should be forced to take it off.
No, I didn't
Point
say
blank,
that.
right, you did.
You said you wouldn't
I did
support.
not
You
say
said
that.
you would
I
support.
You said
said
you
ban
wouldn't
the
support.
burqa.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah?
But the thing is, can
Am I
I?
allowed to have that view though?
That's what he said.
What?
Am I allowed to have that view?
Support it. Yeah.
You're allowed to have that.
Yeah.
view.
It
But
says
I
on the
think you're a
camera.
hypocrite.
The thing is-
let's go to this hypocrisy because the reason why. Hold on. The reason why we're having a discussion. She's equating putting on a vow to having a sex change. This
Right.
is
The
the problem.
thing is, right.
I'm equating the fact that he
hold on,
fights
hold
for
on.
your rights, he doesn't fight for mine.
Yeah, hold on.
I
one
don't
second.
agree with what you're
Hold on
doing.
1 second. I've only.
So why would you
I've-
fight for yours?
That's
It's about freedom of choice.
I don't agree with what you're doing. So I
Hold
can't
on.
fight for your rights.
Right, I've been coming up here for donkey's years,
yeah,
right?
so have I. I've been
Now
coming here since the
I've
80s.
just come into this conversation, right? I've got my views about my scenario, i.e., being Naomi, and having compassion towards Muslims, Christians, whatever. Raj has got his opinions as regards whatever you're talking about with Raj, and basically, what I'd like for Hyde Park is, I think what this gentleman does really lovely, because I've seen him when he embraces people, and basically he's trying to draw people together. And we have to agree. We have to agree. We have to.
like that until someone attacks me personally.
We have to agree to disagree,
Yeah.
and like if for example, I'm just using an example. I'm
Opinions
not
have to be
saying I.
Do you not feel that opinions need to be consistent?
All right,
So if you're free, if you're
I
fighting
believe
for the
that
rights
you
of
both.
everyone,
I
you
believe
need to
that you
fight for the
both.
rights of everyone.
I believe that you both need to come and agree to
No,
disagree
but Raj's
and not.
problem is he hates Islam.
No, I don't hate Islam.
You do.
No, I
sorry.
don't.
That's
I
what
don't.
it is.
You're
But what are you? But what are
clear
you?
enemy of Islam. You're
I
clear
don't
enemy of
hate-
Islam.
I don't
But what are
Like,
you?
call for the death
I
of
don't know what you're. I don't know what you're suggesting
adulterers,
towards transsexuals. So can you just
black
explain
men.
that?
I don't know what you've been
I said
through,
what?
man.
The same right,
My
same
turn.
way.
Can I just ask you to elaborate on what you're saying towards people who have transitioned or whatever?
What I said was, at the end of the day, if he supports the fact that somebody can have a sex change from man to woman or woman to man, because he believes that's their right and he respects their right and he will fight for their right, it's completely hypocritical for them to turn around and say that a Muslim woman doesn't have the right to wear the veil, which should be forced by law, or he would support the ban for it to be taken off.
So I have to support everything.
We are not. We don't.
So I've got to support everything.
In this country, in Britain,
So I support you. I'm going to support everything else.
In this country,
We're just trying to uncover your argument.
in the UK, we give people democratic.
I'm so glad I'm in the
I
UK.
don't really go into politics,
I'm glad I'm in the UK.
but basically we have the free
Freedom of
will,
expression, freedom of right. We're
to be
talking
able
about
to
it
be.
Are we allowed to have a discussion about it without being called hate preachers and racist
No, but you
and
are.
Islamophones?
That's the problem.
Well, I'm an Islamophobe. Okay,
anyone that
that's
says
what
anything
You're a
against Islam
self-proclaimed
is
Islamophobe.
Yeah, but look how much you said about
Can
Islam,
we-
man. You hate
Yeah,
I don't hate
Allow it,
Islam.
man.
you say
Allow it.
it.
You look like a
don't
hypocrite, man.
hate
I don't care.
I disagree with Sharia.
No, but you say
I disagree with Sharia.
You lot.
Sharia is not Islam, is it? Or is
Trying
it?
to impose on religious rights.
But you say it all the time. You say I'm an Islamophobe.
I know some transsexuals. They
Sharia,
don't
I
move
wouldn't
like
be
you, man. They don't move like you,
I
man.
don't talk to thugs. I don't talk to thugs.
This
You
is
like
where
a
you
thug,
need
you
to
don't
learn
talk
from
to
your
thugs.
Fuck,
I
man.
don't talk to
Why?
thugs.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean? What do you mean? How's he a thug? How's he a thug?
How can you fight for new
How's he a
rights
thug?
by imposing
I don't
on
talk
other
to
people's
thugs.
rights?
I don't talk to thugs.
You can't do
I
it.
don't talk to thugs.
You can't talk
I
about
don't talk to
equality
thugs.
between
Respect.
sexuality and
I don't talk to thugs.
Don't even.
Came to the park.
Continue.
Everybody came
Wallahi,
all around and they were attacking him.
worth
I
it,
didn't
man.
take
He's
part
supposed
in
to be
any
guiding
of
new
that.
generation. What's he doing
I
here?
don't care. But
They're more for the youth than you are, though. They're more for the youth than you are, though.
saying
They're
that
for the youth.
she doesn't agree with
I don't know what it is.
the veil should be banned. and She
Allow it,
feels
man.
nervous and
Allow it,
uncomfortable.
man.
And this is why I had
Chat
to
about
shut
it.
it down.
Man. Okay, cool,
Personally,
whatever,
because
man.
of the veil.
Right, so shall we get some structure then, yeah? Because
Say
everyone's talking amongst themselves. Say your one point.
What we need to fight for is we need to fight for the legal
but
change
Simon
that
and
Ard said. Yeah, we need to legally make it so when a man transitions into a woman, they can't have sexual relations with a man without letting them know.
Excuse
or it's
me.
an illegal offence.
There needs to be a
this man-
disclosure.
Like this man over here has done before. Yeah? And it's unconsensual sex, yeah? If you're not consenting to have sex, that's rape. That's a form of rape.
Well, then
Yeah?
guess what? Get the
And
laws
Raj
put in
was
place.
saying
Get
he
the laws
accidentally
put in
raped
place.
someone.
Get the laws
Who
put in
raped
place.
someone by
Can I
accident?
just say,
It was a
there's no point
calculated
standing here
decision.
bitching about it. Get the laws put in
Yeah,
place.
100%.
Get the laws put in place. Don't stand here bitching
No,
about
that's what we're
it.
doing now.
Make sure you
Stop
do
using
it.
bad words.
Make sure you
Stop
do
using
it.
bad words.
Make sure you do
Stop
it.
using bad words.
Protect people.
Can we finish this one?
So let's yeah.
That's
Continue
what
what
Raj
you're
should be
saying.
fighting for.
But the thing is with Sophie, she's made it.
Both fight for separate
The
things.
thing is.
Both fight for separate
The thing is with Sophie, right? I mean, I'm different. Everybody seems to be focused on Sophie. I don't know whether it's because she looks beautiful or whatever, but basically everybody seems to have grabbed towards Sophie. Personally, for me, my transition is not to do with how beautiful I look. My transition is what's happened within myself and my journey and my story. But like people are fixating on a mistake that somebody's made, and she's already, as far as I know, she's already said. And people are sort of saying, well, we need to have a law that you have to. Me personally, I haven't made that mistake.
Yeah, but you know the situation here is going back and forth. Yeah? Insults. Now people are just going to take out whatever they've got in their pockets and insult each other.
So you agree with Sharia?
Yeah? What I'm saying
They might respect you.
Everybody want to
We need to have one conversation at a time. It's too
why I'm here
chaotic.
and why I'm having this conversation.
You can't shut my
My
mouth.
right to wear my veil.
Be disciplined.
Guys.
There's a conversation going on here. We listen.
My conversation was, if he's talking about fighting for the rights of transgender people, right, on that same line as he's going, if he's going to be honest and in his conversation is going to be his argument is going to be consistent, then he should fight for the rights and speak up for the rights of everybody.
No, I
who's
cannot
in a minority.
fight for it. I don't agree with you.
I don't agree with a lot of things.
I don't agree with you, so why would I fight for your right to do it?
So what? I'm saying you're a hypocrite.
Oh my God, I'm a hypocrite because I disagree with you.
You have to be consistent.
No, by your logic, hold on, let me say it. By your logic, I have to then support everything.
No, you agree with transsexual, but you don't agree with
Very
gays.
rude, though. It's very
You
rude.
said I don't
Very
agree.
rude. That's a dope
That's
point. That's a
not
dope
equivalent.
point.
No, what I'm saying to you, your logic is this: because I agree with being a transgender, I've got to automatically agree with you wearing the veil
Because you're
and
talking
support
about
other causes that I don't agree with.
Respect their freedom. Respect
I
their
don't
freedom.
agree with.
Respect their
freedoms
freedom.
of
I don't
expression
agree with.
and freedoms of lifestyle.
This is
then
why
on that
Sharia
line,
cannot work.
It's nothing to do with Sharia. You know, you're breaking
Because they
the
want to force you into
when you're
thinking in a
losing,
particular
when
way.
you're
Right,
losing.
right.
You
What should
understand?
happen? What do you think
Freedom
should
of
happen to people who
expression.
want to dress like this?
Yeah.
I personally
How would
think,
you
I
have
think
it?
the minimum
How would you
should
have
be
it?
in banks and any place where it's national security. That's a minimum. They should be able to. They should be showing their face because I've been in banks and I've
Yeah,
seen
we do.
ladies.
To the bank car.
And in a courtroom,
To
they
the
take
bank
off
car.
as
you
well.
agree? Now, let's get
Now,
structure.
on top of that, I don't agree that if they banned it, I wouldn't want people going to prison for wearing it. So if she was to walk outside, wear it, all I would say is that, you know,
Fine
maybe
me, yeah.
someone might say you can't wear it, but it shouldn't be no fines. I don't want to go to the extent where the people are being
How can you police
penalised.
it?
Then you're imposing your will.
At the end,
I know. So
At the end
it's difficult to enforce it,
can't
but
police
it
it
could
then.
be with like penalties or something.
See, that's not a rigorous
not
system. See,
financial
there you go, man. His
penalty.
system's flawed. His logic's
All right, so
flawed,
maybe
innit?
a penalty financial. I'm
If I
not
go
going
into
through
the
100% because it's a very, very difficult.
What is happening to you when you see a lady dressed this way?
It's agitated.
All these just a
Basically, I've had
preference.
three encounters with females with burqas on in the car. I've had a conversation with a lady for 1 hour, and if anyone wants to think it, it's 100%. I'm an artist, so I was in Walthamstow in East London. You can find me there if you want. And then what happened was that a lady with a burqa came in, and she sat with me for an hour, and we was talking about generally her life and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, it was even after an hour, I still didn't know what her facial expression was.
Why do you need to
I did not know
facial
she was
expression?
sad.
If you're
I
blind.
don't know she. I'm a pervert because I want to see someone's face.
Why
Can you see that? Can you see that? I didn't know she was sad. She might have been calling for help to me, yeah? And I would not have known. So the second time, the second time it happened was that I went to a bank, and the bank was a small bank, and so we was all tightly packed together. It's like one counter one, and behind me there were two ladies with a niqab.
Right.
Yeah. I felt uncomfortable.
Why?
Because I did not know who was behind me, and I was giving that sensitive details.
What were they doing behind you?
But they can hear
If
you.
you're behind,
That's
I'm
not
gonna
the point of what they were doing.
Were they in a line?
If someone was wearing, they were behind me waiting in the line. So if somebody was wearing a ski mask or wearing a helmet, I would have felt uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
she
a
couldn't
fact.
see what you were
It's just
doing.
a
She can hear
fact
you.
that somebody was in a bank who we didn't know their identity. Now that's why I'm saying the
How
minimum.
many crimes do you see
The
from
minimum. I
women
don't
who
know.
dress like this? That's the question. Then. How many crimes do you see who women who dress like this do? Is there a community of women who dress this way who are committing these kind of crimes? Just so we can, because this will
Hold on. Let's go for the minimum then. Would people agree that in a bank they should at least show a female in the
If she
bank their
asks.
identity?
If she asks, yes,
if they
obviously.
come in automatically, they should
do
do
that.
that.
Legally, you have to
So
do
that's
that.
not unreasonable.
Legally, you
Yeah,
have to
that's
do
not
it.
reasonable.
That's not unreasonable.
But
you're not
you're
working in the
court.
bank, right? You are
Yeah,
a customer
you're a
of the bank.
customer.
So the person in front of you, behind you, their finances nothing to do with you.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is that
That's got
what
nothing
I'm
to do
trying to
with
explain to you
the
is that
That's got
when
nothing
you're
to do
going
with
into
the
a bank,
burqa.
you expect some kind of security, and one of the basics is that we know who's in the bank.
But
The
hold on,
main
but
minimum.
that's why there's
yeah?
a line. People
So
gotta
what
stand
I'm
behind you
saying
when
is
they
that
can't hear what you're
if
saying.
we knew that when the female with a burqa came into a bank, they 100% had shown the manager their face or a female, then I would have felt more comfortable. But in that bank, there was no such law or no such precedent that I knew of that you had to show your face.
So let's make it easy. Are you saying making sure that someone is someone is the important you're saying? So when there's a woman in the bank, making sure that who she says she actually is. Is that what you're saying?
Not just that, it's just about making people feel comfortable about
That's a different thing
the
altogether.
security of the place.
Because
you're saying that it's never happened, that doesn't mean it might never happen.
But you're building an argument on something.
So
there's other challenges that's going on that's happening now.
All right, so
we're ignoring.
all right, so when you, I'm talking about in a bank, would you accept? If you was in a bank, would you accept someone who's walking into a bank with a face mask or a
It's not a
helmet
mask, it's a
in
veil,
a bank
there's a difference.
I would, yes, I would.
There's a
with a
difference.
face mask?
No, the turban, you could see
With a
their
face mask?
You might have a knife in there.
Yeah.
With a face mask? Oh, look at that! I've got a knife in my turban.
You've got weapons in your turban.
I've got a knife in my turban.
ridiculous.
I've got a knife in my turban.
Is this how desperate they
We're
are?
going
Knife
somewhere.
in my turban.
It's the same argument.
Let's make it intellectual. Let's try and make
Knife
it.
in my
Let's try and
turban.
learn from it. Let's try to learn.
So what
from
about
it.
what's in your picture?
You spoke about comfort. Hold
Guys,
on.
you see, when you
I
take
bet
it
it's
somewhere
nothing but a
else, this
little
will
pussy.
happen. No, say the
I bet
ladies.
it's just a little vagina
No,
in
say these
there.
ladies here were very civilized, right?
You got a vagina in your
Let's
picture.
try- Okay, let's try to keep it on this kind of.
Man, come on, man.
Sorry, you're talking shit about me.
Yeah, you took it somewhere else. You said about comfort. Hold on.
And we also have to bear in mind it was only yesterday, not a Muslim I don't think, but a young lad was wearing something at school and now he's dead, do you know what I mean? So it's just a pathetic world we're living in.
Yo, excuse me.
Come on.
You're talking about...
Why you had this conversation?
You said feeling comfort, yeah?
Get involved, James. Get
You said that
involved.
you want to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But you know, your comfort might not necessarily be somebody else's comfort. Somebody could have been attacked by an Asian man, a black man, a black woman, an Arab woman, and someone behind them is from that nationality. Now they feel uncomfortable. What should we then do? Because you feel uncomfortable with a woman behind the veil. I might feel uncomfortable.
You're
with a
really
Sikh.
simplifying
There's a
things.
Sikh man behind me.
You're really
And that's what argument should be about.
No, it's not
Simplifying
as
things.
simple as that.
It should be about. It's about simplifying
Let
things.
me show you a good argument. No, 1 minute, Raj. 1 minute, Raj. Let me show you a good argument, yeah? And obviously, I'm not against it, yeah?
Show us a good argument.
But Sikhs carry knives religiously, yeah? They carry knives. Some people could say, yeah?
I feel nervous.
How
could it be
bouncing from one topic to another just because
what
we
do
can't
we
focus
do?
on one
We look at
topic?
Sikhs and we say, what's the statistics saying? How many Sikhs are attacking people with their knives? If there's not a big statistics, then we go off that.
You're straw manning. Let's not straw manning it. Because they're deflecting. Let's go back to the topic. Let's go back to the topic. Let's go back to this. Ain't Sharia. I don't need to answer it for that one. So this is a deflection, yeah. This is a deflection. This is a deflection. This is a deflection. And yes, they're allowed to because they've been given the responsibility to.
All right.
And nobody, as I know of, has committed crimes.
And nobody that went to Niqab has committed crimes that I know.
This is a separate issue. But I've never argued about it being about violence. I've said it's about social cohesion. So what I'm saying to you, hold on.
When the Sikh stuck it on you, Raj.
No Sikh stuck it on me.
The Sikh stuck it on you.
Where? I'm still here. 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 Where are they? I'm still here. I'm still here.
We're going in circles. We're going in circles, man.
It doesn't matter
We're going in circles.
I'm still here.
Listen. At the end of the day, let's not go in circles, yeah? Let's not go in circles. You made a valid point. You're picking and choosing your arguments right now.
He's straw man.
And
Let's get back to
let's get back under the carpet by calling back Sharia.
Let's get back to the main point. In the UK, we know there is a lot of social division. There are communities, especially within the white indigenous population, that feel like they cannot communicate
and
with
it's people
certain
like you that perpetuate that.
And one way this is happening is because when somebody sees somebody with a niqab, they can't approach you.
First of all,
They can't approach you. So this is why there's so much. Now I want to ask something. Are there tensions between Muslims and other communities? Let's establish that first. Let's establish that first. Let's get some discipline.
There's a Sikh guy that used to come to the park and used to debate, and a white man comes up to him and says, "You can't carry a knife." This is the debate the white man has with the Sikh guy, yeah, because he's afraid as a white man that
this
Sikhs
is
around him
I know.
carry a knife.
Now, by Jagraj, R.I.P. He was an amazing guy.
100%.
And do not compare me to him though.
No, you could never be.
Because I'm nowhere near. No, and I know that. I know. I agree.
What I'm saying is, I'm glad you know that.
I know that because I met him. He's an amazing guy.
100%, a real Sikh.
Yeah, he was a real Sikh. That's why I love that guy.
Ambassador of his religion.
Yeah, of course.
Good
Amazing.
representation of the gurus.
And I'm not, so don't put that on me.
Doesn't disgrace them.
Because people keep saying that I represent Sikhs. I am not a baptized Sikh. I'm not a baptized Sikh.
Get to the point.
What I'm saying is the same fear that English people can have of Sikhs stabbing people, even though there's no statistics of Sikhs having people. So I'm not against the Sikhs having knives, because there's no statistics of it.
You're straw manning again.
Argument that you're coming with the burqa.
Are you not? I'm going to say something. If you don't go back to the argument, I'm leaving. If you don't go back to the argument, I'm leaving. Because my argument is not about violence. I've never said that. I said it's about social cohesion. And social cohesion is different.
You've got a weapon.
It's different. social cohesion is
because
different.
you can
Now,
harm me.
are we going to go back? Are we going to go back to? Are we going to go back? Are we going to go back? I don't will.
I'm saying, do they leave the knife at the
No,
door?
they don't.
Okay,
So what you lot are doing here is straw manning and you're deflecting. I am trying to say to you, the reason why you're thinking stupid is because you're not listening to me. So let me explain my art. Now, before we go on, because if you start deflecting it and going in this direction, I'm moving. So I have said categorically, it's not about violence. It's about social cohesion. When you cannot see the face, it's about social cohesion.
Okay, Raj, this lady wants to answer your question. Is that okay?
First of all,
I ain't paying no bullshit, Jizzy. I'm mad.
There you go, man. He's a proper man. Look at him, man. The character, man.
Apologies,
Wallah, you're a showman.
The lady's
Wallah, you're a showman, man.
The
Wallah, you're a showman, man. You're a showman, man. You're a showman, man. You're a showman, man.
Don't get drawn out.
Sorry.
I'll get you back for next week, man. Blue Peter badge coming your way,
I
man.
think the reason why Aspect's gone on to the crime thing is because you talk about the bank and security. But we're going to leave that. Yeah. Now, Muslims are about 6% in this country.
Less than that.
From that 6%, 0.1% are women in the veil. Okay. So therefore, you probably live in a pocket, an area where there's a lot of Muslim women that wear the veils. That's not the whole of
generalisation.
England, yeah? Go outside London, okay, like when I go to Wales, when I go to Scotland, I stand out like a sore thumb. People actually stop their car and they look. So that's not an issue. Yeah? You talk about cohesion. Do you know Muslim women? Can you tell me that you know categorically there are no Muslim women that are veiled that work? I know Muslim women that are doctors. I know Muslim women that are in the NHS that wear the veil. There are teachers that wear the veil. There are no engineers. There are people that work in this country that wear the veil, and they do integrate. What they haven't done, again, like I said to you, is assimilate. And what you want,
I don't want assimilation.
Is you want me to assimilate.
Do I look assimilated?
Yeah, but you're not listening.
Do I look assimilated?
Yes. Internally.
Do I look assimilated?
Yo, madam, let the woman speak.
I've got a friend who's a senior counsellor in NHS.
We need to do another live show because we've got a lot of
No, we don't. You just need to listen.
Rodophobia is hot. Rodophobia is hot.
Listen, sharp and just listen, man.
Could I ask, it is difficult to see like the body language and like the facial expressions.
Body language, my face is in my body. So my body language.
No, but you know what I mean, like facial expressions. So it does.
But you know what?
What's communication, audio and visual?
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
tonality.
as far as speech pattern goes.
I think we all undermine each other's intelligence, yeah, when we speak like that, because like, very clearly people can see when I'm upset.
Yeah, no, definitely.
When I'm
hear it
being
as well.
polite.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
You can tell.
You couldn't talk
I couldn't. You proved the point. You proved the point. She proved the point. I could not tell you was upset.
Why is that not more of an issue?
She said she's upset, but I didn't know.
But why do I need to know if she's not? Why do I need to know?
But can you not see how we cannot gear our conversation because we don't know what she's thinking?
That's flawed because his friend has already said that she doesn't have the same issues.
Unless someone's
got maybe autism, so these are subjective issues.
Can't pick up
The difference is that
my
it doesn't prevent us from
proved my
talking,
point.
but it does kind of put some. It
to tell
makes
us
it a
that
little
she's
more
upset,
difficult
and I
with
didn't
regards to like the facial expressions. They play a big part.
I'm aware of that.
I think that's
Yeah,
where he's coming
aware
from.
of
But
that.
she said she
But
was
then I
upset and I didn't
Yeah,
know.
but hold on, but people you did.
And she didn't know, and a lot of people didn't. You know she was upset.
People, no, not now. I'm not upset now. Earlier when you were shouting.
Yeah, earlier.
Yeah, I'm
But
not
I
upset
couldn't
now.
tell.
Oh, come on.
You couldn't
Maybe
tell.
So
you've got
prove
a
my
bit of
point.
talk.
Raj,
My
you need to
point
improve
is-
your communication
my
skills,
point
man.
is,
Go
a
back to
lot
school.
of things
We're not under
people
Sharia.
wear-
Go back to school. You don't need to be under Sharia to go back to school.
Listen, whenever we do name calling, when we go somewhere else, right? The lady's shown extreme discipline and dedication.
When I wear my veil, I am giving out. Yeah, I'm giving out a picture of who I want to be. Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm
And
giving
you
out.
have a right to
yeah,
that.
and I'm
That's
giving
free
out.
expression.
I'm giving out a story.
Because you're dropping so much wisdom, the brothers are saying, can you speak a bit louder? If you can't, that's fine.
So I'm giving
maybe
out.
you want to come around here, bro? Yeah.
I'm giving out a story, and what my story is saying to you is, yeah, I'm a Muslim woman. Number one, you can see that. Yeah. Number two, I do not want to be sexually assaulted. I do not want to be approached by anybody unless I want to speak to them. This is what I am saying.
Is that what? That's the kind of message you're trying to convey.
This is the message I'm giving. Yeah?
Okay.
I'm giving a conservative message. Okay. So I know that the majority of people pick up on that. Unfortunately, a lot of people, when they see me, it comes out in aggression. Yeah. I have been assaulted many times. I have gone to court 3 times. 3 times, people have been convicted for racially aggravated assault and racially aggravated verbal abuse on myself. Yeah. They have all received criminal records and suspended sentences. So I know what it is to live in the Vale, yeah? And I know people like Raj and his crew, when they go around ridiculing Muslim women, he doesn't like the Vale as well, I've seen him for high, yeah? And when they give out their rhetoric, the people from the NF or whatever, they then hear that and they think it's okay to attack me.
Yeah, but we have to say, we all think that's wrong though, like violence is wrong.
Yeah, but it happens. So while people saying that I don't want to assimilate, and saying that I want to marginalise myself from the British society, then it causes hatred. People then start to hate me. You understand me? And think, you're in our country, we're giving you the rights to be in our country, although I was born here. Why do you want to not be the same as us? Why do you want to dress this way? And therefore, I'm going to kick you, punch you, and try and drag your veil off you, yeah? So this is why I get upset with people like Raj.
We don't agree with that.
At the end of the day, they don't want to hear.
We condemn that.
We don't want to hear what I've got to say.
Don't put my name in the same. You should put my name in the same sentence as that.
They've sent out this narrative, and it's the same narrative. Abused woman, subjugated woman, oppressed woman, who's forced to wear the veil, who can't speak English properly, who can't read or write, who hasn't got any confidence, who can't stick up for herself. I'm not even married. Yeah. So everyone's like, your husband made you. I started wearing the veil when I was 17 on my own in a family that wasn't religious. That was my decision. This was my choice. My family were against it, and this is what I wanted to do. I've been to clubs, I've been out, I've always worn the veil. I wore, like I said, at 17, yeah? And so at the end of the day, this is who I am. But people don't want to hear my voice. They want to tell me why I wear the veil, and they want to tell me that I should take it off, and they want to tell me that I'm oppressed and I'm abused. And some people say I shouldn't even be here. Now, I'll probably get a lot of flack online by people saying, why is there a Muslim woman in a group amongst a lot of men? And the reason why I'm here is to speak up for women of the veil. To say that at the end of the day, we are here, we're here to stay, we haven't got a voice, and we will wear the veil, and we will stay in this country, because it's our country. I pay my taxes, my parents have paid their taxes. I've got children here. My daughter here, she's a medical student. I've got another daughter, she's an engineer student. Yeah, my daughters don't wear the veil. That's because they've chosen not to wear it. Yeah, and I respect their right. And I just ask for the British public to respect my right and not to abuse me or to put me in a box. I don't like to go in a box.
No one agrees with people abusing you.
Yeah, but by you saying what you're
saying,
they're
evil. No, but you're saying that we cannot talk about it then.
No, you can talk about it.
What you're trying to say is that we cannot communicate. We cannot talk about it.
You shouldn't push
Otherwise, what will happen? We're called hate preachers and Islamophobes, and we're causing hatred towards you. How can we not talk about it?
It should be banned. It's hate.
What's that hate?
Because it's because you're hating something that somebody else chooses.
I don't hate the Niqab.
But this is me. This is who I am. This is my identity.
No, it's a piece of
This is my identity.
Shall we?
This is my identity.
Shall we maybe hear?
Like somebody tomorrow can say they are a man, that's their identity. This is my identity. Sorry, what did you say?
Shall we?
You've adopted it.
Excuse me? You can't tell me who I am. I'm telling you, this is my identity.
No, ask him how can he dictate? How can he dictate to? How do you know who she is?
No, it wasn't. So you're going to tell me why I wear it. It says do not display your beauty, and it's up to interpretation.
So are you saying that men are savages?
No.
Men are savage.
Are we savage that we can't?
I wear it.
Are we savages?
You get to see my face.
Are we savages that we can't look at a woman without going crazy?
No, we're trying to impose what she wants to do or not. You're trying to impose on what she wants to do.
Why is it important about seeing the face? Why is it important to not see the face? Why does it matter?
My belief.
Yeah, I'm asking your belief. Yeah.
My belief is in the Quran that says do not display your beauty.
Oh, right. You're married. So what pressure? What
social pressure?
Your face is the main face of your beauty. Therefore, I have decided.
No. None of us are telling her to wear it. None of us are telling her to wear it.
You've been doing that. Sorry, you were doing that.
Where's the social pressure coming from?
You were doing that earlier on.
Sorry, miss.
That's what it is. So it's about choice. And my issue here is that a lot of people want to give a lot of other people so much choice. They take away my choice.
Sorry, why should it be banned?
Shall we hear? Shall we?
I want to know why. I want to know why he thinks it should be banned.
Shall we hear?
I want to know.
Shall we? Hold on.
No, I want to hear from this guy. Yeah. No, I'm trying to hear from this guy. Wait 1 second. 1 second. Shush.
You are Muslim, yeah? Yeah. And you are here to promote Islam, yeah?
No. She's here to pay her taxes, work, and live peacefully.
Why do I know?
Hold on, brother. Didn't you just approach her just now?
You're approaching me now.
environmental. That's why.
But maybe I don't want men, strange men, to approach me. Is that not
Yeah,
my right?
that's
Is
okay.
that not my
She's
right?
allowed to think that
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
That's
but
an approach,
they don't approach
But
me.
you're making it as if men are savages.
Yeah, stranger.
But you're making it as
Stranger.
if
I don't want
savages.
to be walking the street
All
and
these
a
things
random
about
man comes.
women's
walking.
rights,
standing in a
Yeah,
circle.
yeah, because I've chosen that. You see,
No.
choice.
They chose it for you. They chose it for you.
Who?
Your social environment.
No, I
You
chose
are
because
saying
he
yeah.
wasn't listening.
You are
See?
saying yeah.
You
I
wasn't
chose
listening.
it.
I said
But
I chose
90%
it.
of the decisions that we
What
make,
did you
yeah,
say,
are
Sean?
subconscious. These aren't our
Have you got
decisions.
statistics
My
to prove what you're
community
saying?
don't
Yeah,
wear the
substantiate
veil.
your claims.
My
Substantiate your
community
claims.
don't wear the
Yeah.
veil.
Substantiate your claims.
Did you know
You're
when,
making some sweeping
when
statements.
you make a decision,
One time.
when you make a decision, yeah, it occurs 1.5 seconds
community
before you are
doesn't wear the
consciously
veil.
aware of it.
From the
Yeah?
subconscious society, go on, go on, ask for the
Can you tie
psychology.
that
Come,
into
come.
it? How's that
You are
relevant?
wearing it, yeah, it's because of social pressure of those around you.
It's cold. Big man, it's cold.
Your argument, because she believes that she's subjugated to put it on, then I should now wear it. 'Cause she
No,
can have
that's
it.
an adopted belief. That's an adopted. Of
From
course it
who?
is. Of course it is. Of course
So
it is.
okay,
That's
so what you were
adopted
saying,
belief.
90% of subconscious people, etc., etc.
No.
So are you saying that 90% of people are forced to wear the face belt?
Did
What
you
are you
realise?
saying?
No. The social pressure upon people to conform, is greater than our own opinion.
And that's
Our
now
own
backed up her
opinion.
point. She doesn't want to conform. She
Social
wants to
pressure,
cover up. She can cover
social
up. She ain't
pressure
conforming.
outweighs individual opinion.
Okay, that's
My
nice.
Yeah,
community-
that's correct.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
my
that's
community
correct. Yeah.
doesn't wear it. My community
Can I ask a question?
You
Can
are
I?
making a statement. You are making a statement.
Question wants to be asked.
However,
You're making a statement. That's my choice.
Hello.
it's not your choice. It is
Why is it not
their
my choice?
choice.
Who's there? Who's there?
Hello.
How do you know?
One time.
The
Oh,
males
brother.
in your
I don't
environment
have any males in my
dictate
family.
that you should be wearing
I
that.
don't have any males in my family.
You've answered him. Now we've got another question.
Right, so to correlate with this, okay, we have somebody who's saying it's either, well, what I'm hearing is it's either forced in your book or it's forced in somebody's telling you to do it or whatever. Now we've already gone through some of this. So does the Quran tell you to do this? These are just questions. Does the Quran force you to cover up? Hold on 1 second. Does the Quran force you to do it? Are there like is it your husband or is it your family or is it social whatever?
And she's comparing it. They're trying to compare what wearing the face belt to
Or is it your choice? And probably like my situation or like a lot of other things in life, it's probably a combination of all sorts of different things. So you can't just say it's either one thing or another.
You want me to answer?
Yeah, I want you to answer him because I'm trying to correlate both of you.
In my belief system, I believe, from what I've read in the Quran, that I should cover my face. However, as a Muslim, we are not forced to do anything. We are told what to do in the Quran, and then it's left up to us. We have free will. That's what we believe. When we die, we'll be judged. I have no man telling me what to do. I've never had a man telling me how to dress. Nor my father, nor my brother, nor my husband. I have chosen to wear this, and if any day in the future I choose to take it off, then that's my choice. And this is what I'm saying. People don't want to listen. They don't want to hear what the veiled woman says. Everybody wants to speak for us. Everybody wants to tell us why we're wearing it. Yes, there is a small percentage of women are forced. I'm not going to say there isn't. There's a very, very minute portion of women whose husbands tell them to wear it. Okay, but this is not why Raj and his little clique are talking about the veil. Yeah, they're not fighting for the rights of the Muslim woman. Because if you fight for the rights of the Muslim woman, yeah, if people want to fight for the rights of the Muslim woman, the veiled woman, surely they should bring them and speak to them. Ask them. We don't vanish when we come outside. We're there. Yeah. Bring a woman, bring a man, and say, "Are you forced? Are you okay? Do you need help? Do you need support?" And then statistically, if you look and you find, you know what, 5,000 Muslim women in London are being forced to wear the veil, then you have an argument. But there isn't.
How many Muslim women are going to openly say that they're forced to wear it?
Because they would.
They would say that.
Muslim. If they were speaking to a Muslim woman, yes.
You think that Muslim women in the UK would say that they are forced to wear it if someone asks them?
For them.
Do you think otherwise? Do you think otherwise?
Yeah, I do.
You think otherwise? Oh, you know, yeah, you speak for them. You know they're nappies.
Can I ask you a question? Like,
what Muslim would say? Yeah, they're
if you're saying to Raj, like, you know, that you both need to respect each other. So I'm going to just ask you, like, you're sharing your side, but what, for example, I mentioned earlier on about women, white women, for example, it's not like a stereotype, but it could be, but like a white woman who wants to, you know,
Flaunt.
flaunt all
It's a
the,
business. I
and
really
like,
think- I don't care.
so you're not going to have nasty opinions
No,
like
I
people
don't.
have
No.
maybe
No,
about
to
your
judge.
veil.
No, to
About,
judge.
but I've heard many Muslims who have problems with women who want to do that.
Then that's
but-
their
But
problem.
that's
Then
the
that's their
problem.
problem.
You find women of all nationalities and of all religions will have an opinion on all things of life. Do you understand? You're going to get a Muslim woman who's going to say, oh, you just like you're a slave. You get another Muslim woman that'll be like, you know what, you just like that, that's okay. So we differ. It's not to do with our religion, we differ. My personality and my opinions are me.
A Muslim is prone to make a mistake.
I'm trying to say to you.
Like
What
any
are
other
the
human being.
implications for you not wearing it in terms of personal and social?
different to
What are the implications if you like decided just to wear hijab on a personal level and a social level? What would it be?
Was it positive or negative?
I don't know. My question was, what would be the implications for her not wearing that personally and socially in terms of family, in terms of social?
Okay, so
will it make a difference?
Well, I think I would get less racial harassment, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think I'd have much more jobs open to me.
Yeah.
Okay, because when I do go and apply for a job, I do want to work. People, they don't want to employ me because of my veil. That's their problem. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if I can do administration work, you don't need to see my face. You know, apart from working with little children, when they need to see your face and your expressions, anything outside that, engineer, doctor, midwife, nurse, I don't see why you need to see my face. But if I was to take family-wise, nothing.
Without it getting silly and we're called hate preachers.
Would your family,
Also,
their
like,
opinions of them
Of
go
me
down?
change? No, because I wore it before I wore it. My parent family weren't practicing.
So that's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, my parent family would probably prefer me to
You
take it
learned
off.
something, didn't you?
My family would be happier for me to take it
one
off.
opinion, that's
However,
many-
hold
many
on.
opinions.
My
That's
family
a
would
lot
be
of
happier for me to take it off because every time I go out, they worry for me. Yeah, for the simple fact that I've been attacked so many times. But because of my character is so strong, I will not be dictated to. I will wear what I want, where I want, and if someone attacks me, I call the police. I wait till the police come and they get arrested, even if I have to follow them. Like I said, I've had 3 court cases with 3 convictions. Yeah, because it's not right. Same way as if somebody attacks
is that
her,
my fault?
yeah. Well, no, because you play into it.
People like you perpetuate this though, man.
Yeah.
Are you saying
no,
I
not
cannot
question?
question
Because you said ban it.
without you
There's
then-
a difference.
Hold on,
You
you're
said ban
saying I
it.
cannot
There's a
question
difference.
Nobody's saying that.
You can question
Nobody's
it.
saying
Without
that.
you complaining
we were
here
quiet,
that
that's it.
I agree
Yeah.
with people
No,
or I'm instigating
no,
people to
because when
attack
you say
you.
things-
Because what you're doing here
because
is
you
very
be clear,
dangerous.
because you
Because
said
you are
ban it.
saying to me that
Because
if
you said
I was
ban
to
it.
Stop
criticize
pointing.
you
You
for
said
doing
ban
Stop
it.
pointing.
I support you getting
Stop
attacked.
pointing,
You
Raj,
said
man.
ban it.
Stop pointing.
So when you say
took
ban
us off
it-
point.
But look, that's
You're
rude.
mad at
That's
one
rude.
point.
That's
No,
basic.
no.
That's basic
No,
mannerism.
but
It's got nothing to do with
point.
it.
No,
That's
but
basic.
that's
Point.
propaganda.
That's Sharia.
That's
This
rude.
guy that
Come on,
is-
Raven, you know that's rude.
That's
That's
Sharia.
rude, man.
It is
You're
not
Sharia. You always
Guys,
make this
guys,
a free
guys,
speech.
guys,
You always
guys,
make
guys,
this
guys, when you do this, you go somewhere else.
Come on,
The lady's been in testimony, right? You can defend it.
Raven, you know that's rude.
Either way,
You know that's
either way,
rude.
this
It's got nothing to do with religion.
Well,
When you start doing that to people, who you had teachers, who are you from, man? Fool, man.
Let's go back on course, right?
Man.
Yeah, this
Don't
is
like that, man. I hate that stuff, man. My own parents don't even do that to me, man. Who can you do that?
But bruv,
Who you to do that,
that's a
man?
different
Fool,
topic,
man.
innit? That's a different topic, right? Name calling that
But you know that's rude. That's
matter.
rude. That's rude and intimidating and undermining and demeaning.
But you're doing it now.
You just done it.
No, but you know, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Do you know what I mean? To highlight it.
It doesn't. But what I'm saying is, the thing is, the ladies,
natural
the ladies are showing
reaction.
supreme
That's
discipline,
what
right? And we're learning something, and we're getting from start middle in. It's just the men who's taking it somewhere else. So as men, can we show some kind of decorum and discipline, please?
If you're gonna have a
We're being shocked by
conversation,
the
if you're
ladies.
gonna have a dialogue, don't point.
Go ask question.
I can point whenever I want.
No.
What are you going to do
you
if I
know
don't?
what, Why do you always
If I point like this now, what are you going to do? If I point like this now to you, what are you going to do?
The way you
If I'm
argue,
pointing at you,
don't
what are you
point.
going to do?
You're pointing my
What
face
you,
and you
I'm
find
doing
out.
like this, what are you going to do?
Point my face and you find
What
out.
are you going to do?
Get close to me.
What are you going to
Get
do?
close to me, man.
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
What are you going to do?
Ask the question. Ask the question.
You know, you say Muslim women wear it for modesty and they wear the headscarf for modesty and stuff, but don't you think it's an oxymoron when women wear it with makeup? When women, don't you think it's an oxymoron when women
No,
wear?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll answer that. Thing is, as Muslim women, we're still human beings. Yeah. And we still have weaknesses, and so.
But doesn't
yeah,
defeat the-
no. Let me finish. You asked me a question. Let me finish it. Okay. So women have levels of the hijab. yeah? They wear hijab in levels. There is the perfect hijab, okay? And every woman wants to have the perfect hijab, but as you see, we're human beings, women in their nature like to be beautiful. Yeah, they like to be beautiful. So you're going to find women that wear the hijab and they wear makeup because they're still trying. They're trying to cover their beauty, but they wear makeup because they still want to assimilate and they want to join in.
But don't you think that's an oxymoron?
Well, I don't want to say so. It's a weakness.
I said, I'm not into that.
It's just a weakness. That's what it is. We're human beings.
Not into that kind of
Do you understand me? And furthermore, like me now, I'm wearing eye makeup because I came from somewhere. Yeah, so I wear makeup. Yeah, so I'm still a human being, and because you can only see my eyes. Yeah, what you can see is my eye makeup. Should I not wear it all the time? Maybe that would be best for me not to show any of my beauty. But I still go out. I'm still a female. I'm still a human being. And when I go out, I dress up. I wear makeup. And so now you can see some of my eye makeup. That's just how it is. That's the answer. It's not like do I deliberately sat there and put on eye makeup so I look a little men.
No, I just
That's
find
an oxymoron. Yeah, but you need to understand. Under the veil, we're still human beings. My daughter underneath her veil, she's a human being.
No, I don't understand
that. I'm just answering your question.
The whole point is that you don't want to attract men.
Yeah, I don't want to attract men.
Your eyes are very accentuated.
Because like I said to you, I just
I've seen some ladies with the face covered or a hijab,
Yeah.
and her eye, obviously,
Yeah, because they're human.
But the eyelashes are so accentuated
So they're
that
trying
they
their
go,
best.
hiya.
That's their best.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, it's true though.
It's
Yeah,
true that
so they're trying.
the eyelashes are very, very
they're trying their
integral
best.
to some of
That's
you,
their best.
especially
That's
the
their best.
females.
They're doing their best.
Especially the females, the eyelashes are
because
very,
she's a
very
human
important.
being. She's a human being and she's a female, and that's the best she can do.
Would you take the next step and full cover?
Like cover my eyes.
Yeah.
Completely no, because I can't see. I'm able to see.
I mean, if you could see with a little slit.
What do you mean?
With a gauze.
Do you know what they do?
Oh yeah, like in Afghanistan.
Would you
No,
do
I
that?
personally wouldn't do that. No.
Why not?
Because I choose not to. I can't see properly. I've worn it before. I couldn't see, so I didn't wear it. Not in this country. I wore it overseas.
I mean, if you
Yeah, so I need to be safe.
if you are saying it's about your like deen and it's
I have changed. My hijab has changed.
It's about personal
It's evolved.
faith.
Yeah, it's evolved.
It's about personal. Then all of this covering stuff shouldn't prevent you from expressing who you are.
No, but that's not the point. The point is, I have decided and I've chosen not to show my face.
Does that
and
mean
my
anything?
body.
Does that mean anything to
Are you
you?
hearing
She made
that?
a choice to do that. Does that mean
Are
anything?
you hearing that?
Can you just repeat the reasons
Regardless
again,
whether
please?
she was hijab,
the
that
reason
full
was in
veil,
the Quran it says for
her
women not to
intention
display their
would still
beauty.
be the same.
For me,
yeah?
I
So
feel the face is a part of your beauty. When someone says that girl's really pretty, she's beautiful,
saying this,
they're talking mostly about her face.
doesn't weigh
We're
up
going to be completely
with me.
honest.
How does it not weigh up?
Yeah?
It doesn't weigh
At
up.
the same
Do you know
time,
why?
in this country,
Because it
it's
shouldn't
dangerous.
matter
That's why my
whether you wear
daughters don't wear
hijab,
it.
whether you wear
Yeah?
that, whether
I
you wear
wear it.
this.
I've chosen to. I've worn
It
since
shouldn't
17 to
matter
become a part
because
of
your
me. That's why
intention
this guy said to
will
me,
be.
"It's
And if
not
you
part of
No matter
showed
what
your beauty,
happens,
what would that mean to you?
My intention is to express who I am.
Okay,
I shouldn't stop now.
okay,
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Why does it matter?
okay. So the reason why.
Have you not just contradicted yourself? You're saying it doesn't matter for a woman to wear hijab or face veil, but then you're saying it does matter. I don't understand.
I just want people to hear the reason why it's not. Is the reason why this lady wants to cover her face and cover her beauty is because it's a sin. I just want people to hear that and not condemn it, not to judge it, just to hear that in the Quran or in the Muslim faith, her interpretation is it is a sin. So I just want people. It's a sin for her to show her beauty.
No.
So wait, so a woman is created to then be covered up.
Yeah, but it's not about taking it further or judging it. It's just about hearing that in accordance with the Quran or her interpretation of it, it's a sin to cover up your beauty. It's just a sin.
I believe in the fox god. That's my belief.
But you are showing up beauty through your eyes, though.
Standing and speaking
as
to
well.
corner, people are obviously going to scrutinise it.
Yeah. If you come to a place
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shows
yeah,
me
your
beauty, will give you their
Can I
opinion.
just explain that?
Free
before?
speech is
Yeah,
flawed,
as a
though.
human being,
It's flawed,
yeah,
and there's
we can have
responsibility with free
weaknesses.
speech.
Do you understand me? I'm trying
Can I
my
ask you a
best
serious
to
question?
conceal my beauty.
Can I ask you a serious
okay?
question?
Yeah,
Like
finally,
I
yeah, ask
somewhere,
one serious
Can I ask a
question.
serious
yeah, and I wear makeup.
one. Go
So I didn't take it off. I came straight here.
What's
So
your
that you can see.
intention?
What do you, what's my intention? What do you mean intention? You can only see my eyes. You can't see anything. You can't see my hair. You can't see my figure.
They're great.
Can I ask you another question? That's the Muslim interpretation. Now the Christian her interpretation of the Muslim of the Muslim faith. That's fine. Okay, or the Muslim book, whatever. But basically, in Christianity, it would be embraced that God gave you that beauty, and therefore you should. That you should. That you should.
For the woman to cover her hair, to cover her hair, if not to shave off her hair.
No, but can I just finish my question? Right. In a Christianity that I would want to embrace, I believe that the God that I serve wants people to embrace their beauty and embrace it because they're a loving person, and that people should respect that beauty, not abuse it. But I think where you're coming from is like people are going to abuse that beauty, and that's partly part of the reason why you're covering.
I believe that this is me, this is my body.
Says in the old scripture about a woman to cover her head,
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Same as you have a control as to reveal what you want, I have the ability and the right to conceal. What I find really incredulous about this whole scenario is that all these people discussing what a woman should and shouldn't wear. Do you understand me? In 2018, we're having this discussion and this debate about a woman's right to uncover her face or cover her face, and I find that really, really sad, to be quite honest with you, because there's child poverty, there's paedophilia, we've got homeless people in this country.
She's saying that we can't talk about the issue because
there's bigger issues.
There's bigger issues.
We might as well ignore everything.
She didn't say that.
No,
She didn't say that, man.
doing a ban means it would have to go to Parliament.
I know,
X
but
amount
your
of
logic
MPs
is
would have to
very
discuss
flawed.
it. It's not flawed. At the end of the day, there's more things
But
that are
your
important
logic is flawed.
in this
What we're trying
world
to say
to
is that
discuss
we should be
more
able to
than a
have an open
woman
discussion.
having the right to cover.
she didn't say you
Who said
couldn't.
can't discuss it?
Alright, so
We're talking about banning
hold on,
it.
let me say, when I came here, I was told as a hate preacher, I'm a nasty person, and I'm calling for the attack of you people. And that's just by me saying I want to discuss maybe banning the burqa.
Yes,
I have
think you
no
are a hate
legal
preacher.
powers to ban it.
Yeah, but that's
It's
not where it
my
starts.
voice that is saying it. I
Yes,
cannot.
and this
I
is my
cannot.
voice.
I know. So
This is
you're
my
acting
voice,
as
you're
though
busting
by
that.
me saying this, I have the power
No,
to
you
suddenly
don't. How
ban
start?
it.
How does it
So
start?
no, but I'm one individual. If you think I have that much power, I'm grateful because I should be
I
flattered
said
by
you and your
that.
group.
I should be flattered by that.
Because
So
your rhetoric.
what I'm
You
saying
and
is
your
that you are equating people discussing this issue to people wanting to hurt you or to want to demonize.
Because this is where it ends.
No,
I'm a victim of it.
But
Yeah, but the thing is, I agree
I
with.
can't talk about transgender issues and how people in transgender get beaten up, boxed
But
up,
how is
whatever.
all of this
Then
gonna-
You can't sit there and say that this kind of rhetoric doesn't affect me directly.
We've never said it doesn't.
Don't say that. Because you don't know.
We didn't
You
say
haven't
that.
said
You don't know. You really don't know.
This
Of course
rhetoric,
we don't know.
this
Hold on.
rhetoric
Of course
does
people
go out
with
there
niqabs
and
here.
people
Of course,
sit
let
there
me
and
say
say
something.
that we don't
There is
discriminate.
no
It's
doubt
factual.
that women with
It's
niqabs
factual.
and
It's factual. It's
burqas
factual.
have been attacked
Factual.
on a large scale. I know
And
that. I've
that's
seen
bad.
it, and it's terrible.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that we should be blamed for it. And when we discuss
No,
it,
you will be
that we are
blamed.
then
You will.
scapegoated for it.
People take what you say.
I know, but then
And take it quite literally.
but then I can say the same thing to you. I can say the same. You don't agree with transgender issues, do you? Or gays?
Sorry?
You don't agree with homosexuality?
I don't go down.
So when a homosexual is beaten up, when a homosexual is beaten up, it's your fault. When a homosexual is beaten up, it's your fault.
She's not perpetuating.
When a homosexual
That's
is beaten
it.
up, it's your fault.
Exactly.
Can you not see that? Can you see how illogical it is? Because the hypocrisy of Muslims saying you disagree with homosexuality, and when homosexuals are beaten up, I can blame all of you lot.
I'm not online.
Does that sound logical? I'm asking you, is it logical?
Don't speak over me. I'm not online like
Can we
you
have
are.
one person
I'm
at a
not
time?
online. I'm not online. Yeah, with a load of people watching me saying transgender this, transgender that, and then people watching me say, yeah, transgender, let's go out and kick them in their face.
No one said
No, you're saying that about us.
Hold on, you're on there.
You say the same thing
discussing-
about us.
No,
That
you
us talking about the
platform.
niqab, by
You
running the
talk
niqab.
about banning
We,
it.
yeah, no,
You talk
but
about
you want to
banning
kill
it, and you
homosexuals
say- no,
under
you say,
Sharia.
I'm not going there. You're not
You,
going there.
under Sharia, would homosexuals be killed? Would homosexuals be killed? Would homosexuals be killed? Because this is important. This is important.
And that's your rhetoric.
Would under Sharia, would homosexuals be
Right, so
murdered?
shall we summarize then? Shall we try to summarize again? So
This is how we're summarising it. This is how we're summarising. Raven, this is how we're summarising it. This is what it is, yeah? Regardless of what Muslims believe in the Sharia and Islam, yeah? We're not out here with a platform talking about a certain type of rhetoric. Raj has that platform. He has that rhetoric. He has a target audience. He has a target market at the end of the day with certain people that are too dim.
What about Ali Dawa?
No, that's, what about Ali Dawa?
Ali
What about
Dawa
Ali
was
Dawa?
Sharia.
What about Ali Dawa?
Ali Dawa
What about Ali
was
Dawa? Does he not condemn me? Does he not condemn me? Does he not condemn me?
Ali Dawa is to blame.
Can I try to help?
Raven,
Can I try to help?
Raven, Raven,
You've got an hour.
Raven,
and
Raven,
let me help.
Logic.
Let me help you.
Ali Dawa is to blame for their child being
Yeah, cool.
homosexual.
This one I'm gonna say.
Muhammad Hijab is being on camera saying it's wrong to be homosexual. So Muhammad Hijab is to blame for their being homosexual by your logic.
All I'm gonna say. One second. All I'm saying.
One time.
I don't have a
One for me,
platform.
one for them.
I don't have a platform. A lot of us
Muhammad Hijab
here.
said no respect he disagrees with homosexuality. He says it's a sin.
What I'm trying to say is,
So I'm saying I disagree with their burqa.
I've been around Muslims.
And he agrees with Sharia, which is
You know our fundamental
of
beliefs.
homosexuals.
Are we out here perpetuating? Say right now, for example, I disagree with this person here.
Are to blame for
I am not out
homosexuals
here
getting
saying
beaten up.
let's go
I'm
kill
Muhammad
transgenders
Hijab
and gays.
and Ali
Okay,
Dawa.
hello.
One time.
Hello.
Hold for it.
Hello.
Let's get somewhere.
Hello.
I just want to finish this, Raven. I just want to finish what you said.
Here's your point. Here's what we're going to do, right?
I think it would be good if me and this lady have a debate around what you think about somebody like me, so on and so forth, and then hopefully that might help some people if they don't know already.
Summarize.
Naomi.
Naomi, we'll jump on this. Let's forget this. Just so we can get some clarity, right? How would you want Raj to express his discomfort with the hijab and niqab? How would you, as a community, how would you want
as a community,
I
when I put all bias, hold
the
on,
veil, right?
Raven.
I agree with traditional
I've asked
values.
the question.
Hold on,
You asked the question, let me answer the question.
Let me say my stand after him. Let me say my point.
Let me ask you
where
a
I
question.
stand.
Okay, Raj. Okay, cool.
But you know what I'm asking?
Okay.
How do you want him to
Repeat
be?
again for the audience.
How does the Muslim community want Raj to express his uncomfortable nature?
Uncomfortability he has with the veil.
How do you want him to do it? Is it first of all, is he allowed to do it?
Yeah.
If he is, how should he do it?
He's allowed to do it. First and foremost, he's allowed to.
Okay, so you're allowed to. That's one.
Yeah, you're allowed to do
I
it.
hate preacher when I do it.
Wait.
So I hate preacher when I do it.
Now we're going to establish how they think you should be able to do it. To
First, you have the right to talk about it and have a discussion about it. Of course, because we live in this environment where we're allowed to discuss certain things. Okay, there's not a cap. We don't live in communism or anything like that. However, we should do it in a fair and just way where we have these type of conversations outside that we think outside the box from a subjective and objective manner, and it should be fair and just. If you have a problem with the veil, you have to look into the veil, the history of the veil, even do like a consensus, like go around talking to people with the veil and asking different questions, rather than not only because it's the fair way of doing it. It's justice, isn't it?
Do you think I'm that important that I can go around
because
the
you have a
UK doing
platform
consensus?
and you feel passionate about it at the end of the day.
I just mentioned it twice.
Is that the answer?
Okay, my answer, let me summarize,
You've got to
Summarize. If he's got a problem with something, he has to not only look at it subjectively, but objectively, and look
How
at
do
the
you know
broader
how
picture.
You said that. Now, can we assist
Because
explain?
clearly-
let me say my piece before she goes on.
But the thing is,
Does that make sense what I've just said to you? Does that make sense what I've
Are you
just
going to
said?
allow me to
Does
speak for
everyone
2 minutes?
understand what I've just said?
But I'm saying,
Does everyone understand what I've just said?
I'm trying to get some kind of conclusion, right? So let the lady say how she would like him to do it. Go ahead.
I think when Raj speaks about the veil, we should make it very clear that it's his personal opinion, that he feels that he feels uncomfortable with it, and that these are his opinions, not that he's got some sort of campaign or hatred or a need to want to ban it. That's number one. Number two,
Go on.
All right, so
I think Raj needs to understand that you do have a platform, and you do have people, because I've read your comments that are extremely racist, that might take what you've got to say.
Racist. Now you made a very serious allegation. What is the racism and what comment?
Or Islamophobic.
No, racism. No, you're going back to Islamophobia. What is Islamophobia? If I criticize Sharia, is that Islamophobic? Because she's making very bold claims about me.
You have a lot of followers.
But the ladies want to come on this side. The ladies want to come on this side. Do you want to get all the ladies to come on one side?
This lady's going to get closed down, man. I'm telling you that straight now.
Carry on.
Go on, Raven. Do your thing. Go on, Raven.
He always does it, doesn't he? He's a diplomat, man.
He's always I've been saying from every time for a year that I've known him.
Did you win?
I see it kick off and I was like, where was I?
Who?
I don't know.
There's Paul there.
No, Paul's gone home. Oh, Paul's there. Oh, no, Paul.
James,
And let me just say something to the camera. It's a lot of hypocrisy going on here. You have people that are saying that calling for people to talk about the face veil being banned is hateful. But on the same sense, in the same way, people like Ali Dawa and Muhammad Hijab and some people like that have 30, 40,000 viewers, they are calling for the death penalty for homosexuals and people like that. So by your logic, if I say to ban the vow and someone gets attacked and it's my fault, by that logic, Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawa and any of the Dawa teams that condemn homosexuality can be blamed for a homosexual being killed or beaten up. Is it on? I don't even know if it's on though.
I think it's on. Yeah, so one of the...
Check if it's on.
Before it will properly kick
Yeah, because it's like crazy, man. They're calling me a hate preacher because I'm questioning the vow. Yeah, I'm questioning it. They say you can't question it. If you do, you're calling for people being attacked. But my logic is this. If I'm questioning that and then they are saying homosexuality is wrong, and it's condemned and you've got a death penalty for it, someone getting beaten up on the street who's homosexual, they should be culpable for that. Is it on or off?
I think it's recording, but the red light is flashing.
Is it recording?
It's flashing.
We need to...
Rolling, man.
Alright, so let me do my piece to the camera and wrap it up, yeah? Let me wrap it up. They're all gone, yeah, but they're all
I can't see
gone.
nothing, man. All I can see is bright light. Take the light, turn the light off. That one there. Turn the light off, Rod.
Oh yeah, sorry. Film my side.
So, you seen everyone just cut out, yeah?
Yeah, they went to the...
Hey, some joke to him, man. It's not, man. It's over, man. Hey, everyone come back.
Hey,
man.
hold it.
What's still going on?
So, to conclude, yeah, I'm going to say it again because before I said a bit too fast. We've had a conversation where people, when I'm saying that I think the face veil should be banned, or at least looked into, or at least in banks, that I am a hate preacher for saying that. Now, the problem with this is that they've equated me criticising this as me instigating people getting beaten up. By that logic, I'm going to say again, by that logic, when Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa, any Muslim says that homosexuality is wrong and a homosexual gets beaten up, it's their fault. Yeah, I don't agree with that because at the end of the day, that's your views. So you are equating me talking about hijabs with people getting attacked. Now, is it off? Oh yeah. So the other thing is that I want to make it pretty clear. I have no issues with females wearing the hijab and dressing modestly. In fact, I am from traditional values. But if a woman wants to wear what she wants, that's not up to me. Would I prefer them to be more traditional? Yes. Yeah, I think it's a nice thing to dress modestly. But when you're telling people that females that if you don't cover up, yeah, men are so savage that we cannot control ourselves and that we are so lustful that looking at a female's face that we are going to be some kind of beast like Suleiman here, then Suleiman's there, yeah. So then what happens, yeah? You have a situation where you have grooming epidemics, because a grooming epidemic here is about culture as well, yeah. Because Muslim guys are being told, Muslim men are being told from when they're younger that if a woman isn't covered up and her face isn't covered or this or that, that woman here is not modest. And in some Muslim guys who are depraved, they will see that as a way to then or justify that girl being groomed or raped. That's why the Sikh community has been attacked, because we do not have the same level of restriction on clothing and stuff. Yeah. So I want people to understand that this conversation here today was one of the silliest conversations. I respect the female lady here for what she came down, but it was pointless because she was equating being about covering a vow and banning the vow as being a transgender. Yeah. Here they are equating banning the vow to being a transgender. And if they're saying if I support transgenders, I must support the vow. What logic is that? By that logic, I must support everything.
That is retarded.
So that's out, and I don't turn for turds.
Content over everything from your
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Prick.
Halloween was last week.
Halloween, innit? I'm a Muslim. I've done Halloween, innit?
Yeah.
You banned Halloween. Did you watch my Halloween special?
Not even listen to the MUM.
But Andrew Childish is a bit scary.